What's up, guys? Time to show off a build going out to my buddy Chris. I think this is the first watch he's got from me, so we'll be a little bit more detailed on this. So he was wanting a build with red sugar skull, so we did a brass. This will be a little tight for a while with this little kind of bend here. But this is suede. Over time, like whichever one you use, it will open itself up a little bit better. And then a little hint, if you ever want to do this, if you get a drill bit and just buzz it from the back side, go slowly through and back, because you'll end up puckering one end. You can smash it back down, but with the suede, it should go away. But you can always drill them out just a little bit, especially on the one that you use. So that's what I do on mine. Because with the thicker leather, that's what it is. Because, you know, these are standard pre-V buckle, but that little bend in it, when it's thicker, sometimes it's harder to pull out because the holes are plenty fine size-wise. It's just how thick it is. But anyway, he wanted a red sugar skull build, so we've got a brass and red sugar skull build. So brush case, small coin bezel, and then we have a lasered dial and bezel insert. And how we did this is the whole thing was done in red cerakote over brass, and then the red was lasered off. So you can kind of see the laser marks going this direction. Kept the border going all the way around it, and did the same thing on the insert. Just lasered all the red off, and that's what we were left with. Backside loomed, and then silver handset. Sorry, I was like, where was I going with that? Silver handset, the Moldova hands, and then I have a long loom red seconds hand. Just milled crown. Low profile exhibition caseback. I did a red movement holder in there and a little signed rotor. And now this strap being so thick, whenever I put it on the case, it wanted to stick straight out, right? So you can do that. That's perfectly fine if you want to do that. But for other purposes, I put on lug extensions. These are just held on with your quick release spring bars, right? So you can take this out by just pushing through from the edge and then using the spring bars that are on there and going right back to it. You're just stuffed in there a little bit. So this allows you to fold them back on themselves. Even if they're sticking straight out, they'll wrap around your wrist just fine. But as you can see, just if I bend that, how that stays in there is just because this is so thick. So if you take these off and go right to the case, you can. They're just going to stick pretty much whichever direction you put them to, because they don't have a lot of play. So with this, you can actually have your watch dance around. You can pack it in a watch roll a lot easier because it's just going to fold back over on itself. So brushed lug extensions, and then I think this might be my only. I might have done one of these before, but this is a suede leather from Jack Foster Leather. They're out of Greenboro, North Carolina, with red stitch. And then I really liked this buckle. I've had it for the longest time, and I just kind of felt this decorated buckle went really well with the sugar skull. So, so that is your build, good sir. There we go. I was like, that's not moving on me there. Bezel on this will turn left, it'll turn right. These are held on with a tension ring. This one, these style bezels, the tension rings that I get are nice. Lots of good contact, so shouldn't really move unless you want it to. Automatic mechanical, so you can wind it, you can wear it. You can put it in a watch winder, but if it's dead or you're not going to be very active, make sure you wind it just a little bit. And how you do that is you back the crown off the threads until you hear it and feel it clicking. You'll see you're off the threads. See a little bit of play there. And you can wind, and a wind is a turn away from you. Turning it towards you doesn't wind it, but it's a lot easier to keep your finger spacing off the case and just go back and forth. If you do this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, that mixed with your rotor movement should keep your time throughout the day. But if you're going to be driving or at a desk or whatever, you want to make sure you don't lose any time. You can just continue to wind it up. Another 10 seconds. So 15, 20 seconds total. I do it pretty aggressively. I have no idea if I'm already wound up all the way, because you can wind it all day if you want. But it's got a 31 plus hour power reserve on it. Most of the time when I wind them up, it's like 35, 36 hours before it will die without zero, because I wind them up and set them down and let them run, make sure that the hands don't, bind. There's nothing wrong with the movement. I make sure it keeps perfect time. And it's normally, it's over the 31 hours. And the times that I've tried it, it's been like closer to 36. So when you're happy with your winding, you're going to pull it to the one and only click, and you can now set your time. It does not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. And you'll also notice it's got a wobble crown. This deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement, so when you're pushing and prying on it, you're not putting any adverse pressure on anything. And the clutch system in there actually disengages once you screw it down, to where if you get a side impact into the crown, it doesn't transfer into the movement. So you can go from winding it to setting the time, but you cannot go from setting the time back to winding it. If you push it back close, there's no clicking. There's no nothing. You have to screw it all the way back down and re-engage the clutch. And then when you back it back off, then you can wind it again. So you can go from that to setting the time, but you cannot go the other direction. So sometimes people think there's 2 positions. It's literally 1 position. And then it's just an engaged, when it comes off, it's essentially engaged into winding or into position 1 where it's setting the time. Okay, Google, what time is it? 3:07 p.m. When you're good, you're going to push it over, get it out of that time setting, and just wind it back down. And that, good sir, is your build. And there's a little protective cover back here you can pop off if you want to. And as with every build, you get amazing and awesome beads. Entirely up to you if you wear them or not. You've got some nice mermaid beads. These look brown, but then in different aspects or different lights, they kind of have a nice kind of holographic glow to them. Some good silvers and reds in there. And then this is going to come, you're going to have your little pack in here. This has an extra quick disconnect and the 3 extra. Obviously, I use the ones that come with the watch, so I already have 2, so it's giving you an extra. And then I use the 2 that came from the watch to run through the band, so you just have a little pack of extras here. These are 22 to 22. These do so much for the watch, and I get these for $1. The whole set for $1. So like, if you want to use them, great. If you don't want to use them, great. Doesn't matter. It can, like, this is actually a pretty decently long band as it is, but this can also help you maybe land where you need to, whereas if they weren't on there, it might not. So there are some other values to it, but it does give the watch a completely different look. But that will be in the bottom of your box. You will have a brown BVW special edition box with a nice handmade plaid pillow. This will come with watch cleaner, well, actually watch foamer now. This is good on all glass and metal, so everything here in the center, non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue, along with a microfiber. That your watch will be wrapped in that. Then you'll also have some leather conditioner. This is good to keep this strap perfectly soft. If you ever feel that it's not, apply it on the front and back using a rag of some kind. Don't use one of your microfibers. And let it soak in, remove any excess. A little bit will go a long way. And then lastly, you're going to have some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. It's like Polywatch. It's because you have an acrylic glass and you can scratch it. But if you do, not a big deal. You put a tiny bit of this on it and you buff it out using your color-matched microfiber. If the scratch is up and down, just go left and right on it, fill in that scratch. haze it, buff it out. If you still see the scratch, wait a little bit, let that solidify, and just continue to build up the layers. 9 times out of 10, you don't even see your scratches in this. It's if I take the movement out and hold it up to the light, then you're like, holy crap, but you never really see that beforehand. So this is there in case you ever want to do it. If you ever notice anything, you can get it buffed out. So that's your build, sir. I appreciate you reaching out and wanting to get something from me, and that I could make you something that went together so well. So if you need me to make you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe, as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.